Hey Deck It Out DIYers, we are coming to you this month, the month of November, with your Thanksgiving and Thankful box. So start by taking all of your pieces, laying them out, matching them up. I did take mine off the board and I put the letters on the tape so that I could paint it easily. I felt like these letters, or these words that are connected, they're fine to paint. They are going to be a little bit fragile, so keep that in mind. So I have everything sorted. I'm gonna get started with painting. Just a reminder, you're going to dab on, dab off, and then you will dab. I do know I'm going to go off a little bit and do something a little unusual for my hat, and I'm gonna make a teal hat. So I'll start with that one and I'll show you kind of what we do. Okay, so I am going to take my sponge, put some paint on. Because this is a project that will require a good amount of paint, I didn't dab any paint off, and I'm putting it on and then pulling it to the side. You will also notice that I don't have a lot of paint on my sponge and my project. I'm just using as much paint as I have in my sponge to pull it off to the side so I leave the sides clean. And with that charred edge, the black charred edge, because that's how I want it. So I'm just gonna do this, okay? And this is how I'm going to end up painting my tag that says, oh snap. This is how I'll paint my I'm stuffed. I'll do the same thing. I'll put a little bit of paint on and then pull it off to the side. When it comes time to doing the buckle, I've dabbed that paint off already. I'm going to dab the buckle. And you are probably going to need about 2 coats of this paint, okay? And then I think for the sash across, I'm gonna try this fun new color we have. It's burgundy. Oh, I love it. Hopefully you guys love it as much as I do. I'm gonna try that going across. Again, before I glue everything on, you're gonna come back, you're gonna lay it all out together and double check that you like your paint colors. This is paint. We can always paint over it, but I think that's gonna be a fun combination. So we're gonna paint the rest of our pieces. I'll come back with tips and tricks as I go, but paint them all, let them dry, add a second coat if you need it, and then we'll come back at the end and we will apply or lay out all of our project pieces and then glue together all of our project pieces. Okay, DIYers, so I wanted to just give you a little idea of what I'm doing here. I'm putting very, very, very little paint on the edge, brown paint on the edge of my sponge, and then I'm brushing it on. And then I did not like how dark it was, so I went to the other side of my sponge, and while it was still wet, I pulled it right off, okay? So it kind of lightened it a little bit. Then I took my side that I had paint on, and then I wanted a little bit of a rustic look along the edge. So I'm just kind of pulling it off the sides like that to give it a little bit of a different look. Now that was too much, so now I gotta smooth that out a little bit. Okay, because then when I put the whipped cream on it, like it will be, I don't know, I just really like that look. So that's what I did. I had a very little bit of brown, put it on, took my other side, wiped it off, and then took this side, dabbed it off, and then just lightly brushed to shade around the edge. And then that whipped cream really pops. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my pieces of pie for the garland. Okay, DIYers, I wanted to jump on for a couple of reasons. So when I was doing my turkey, you probably saw in the video, I was pulling paint with my hand and I kind of blurred this a little bit while it was still wet. I kind of rubbed it so that I could kind of not worry about specific straight lines with the paint, but now it's kind of all blended. So I feel like that just looks a little bit nicer. And then I don't have to worry about it being super perfect. The other thing, another thing I wanted to show you and talk to you about is the little gobbler and the eyes. We did not include red paint, but you could take your paint marker, you could take a Sharpie, you could take a Crayola marker, any sort of marker you have at home, and you maybe you have paint left over from another box. That's still good. And you can just paint that very carefully with that marker or color. And then I'm going to just paint the eyes. I could have taken the sponge and dabbed the eyes. I'm pretty confident I could have done that. I'm just using my markers since they're right here. I'm going to use them to add details throughout my tray pieces once I do have everything glued together. So there's my gobbler. That one's ready to go. I'm waiting for it to dry. And then last, I wanted to show you this project. I do not want this turkey to be super dark. So I'm taking a baby wipe. We often do this in the studio. Taking a baby wipe, putting some paint on it. And then I'm just painting it on. Like you saw, there wasn't a lot of paint on it at all. And then I'm just kind of washing this on my turkey really lightly. Now, if I feel like this is too dark, I can always take and wipe more off. Now, because I am using a wet baby wipe, it is going to take a few minutes to dry. I did already paint my letters. Where is it? I'm stuffed right here. So they're ready to go. So now once all of my pieces are dry, we're going to put them all back together. Make sure we like the coloring. And then we'll glue them together. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to add little details with either the sponges, with adding little fades of color to the ends, or edges, I should say, of each piece, or I'm going to use and do detail lines throughout the project. So I'm going to put all my parts back together because now they're all pretty dry, except now this I'm stuffed one isn't, but we'll do that one last. And then we'll come back and talk about what I see with my project and some ideas for your project. Okay, so I've laid everything out. I like all the colors. I really love that I just kind of went bright. So for some of these, though, I do want to add a little something along the edges. And so how I do that is I'm going to add a little bit of orange. I dabbed it off, and I'm going to just pull it around. Now, I'm going to take the word thankful off just so that I don't accidentally hit that. It will be a little bit challenging in some of these little nooks and crannies, but I'm just going to kind of fan this out this way, okay? And rub it with my finger to kind of minimize the shine from it. And this is just because I want to add a little something to the edge. I want it to be a little bit more color. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do orange here. And I think I'm going to do brown on the blessed, just to give it a little distressed, textured look. Okay, and then I will go in with my markers and I will add a little bit of a zigzag to them, and I'm going to do that after I glue. So once I do this, I double check again that it's all what I like. I'm going to glue everything down, and then I'll come back and I'll add more details with my markers. Okay, DIYers, that is a wrap on our November tray. So we'll give you some twine to wrap through for your tag. I like to double it up and then just put it through, pull. Okay, for your tag. We will give you some twine for your garland. And I just love how these pieces turned out this month. So I hope you had a great time. Post your creations in our Deck It Out Facebook group, and we'll see you for December. Bye.